Alright, hello everybody. MewGenics is coming out in just 2 days, and despite us getting to see quite a few different classes, Edmund McMillan and his wife have done a new video. But we're going to do a quick recap of the videos as well as look into the new class that was revealed in his secret stream. So if you don't want to be spoiled on that, stop watching now. Otherwise, like and subscribe and we'll get on into it. So here we've got a quick look at the classes that we've all seen before. There are over 10 classes planned, and each class has 75 skills or more. The expected total to be over 1,200 skills, as well as over 1,000 items. If we add together everything that they've shown us, it's barely even 2 full classes. Let's do a quick recap of what we've got. First thing we have is the Colorless, which isn't actually a class. People might get it confused with the Stray Cat, whereas the Stray is actually a class. The Colorless mechanic is more focused around a skill set, I believe. It's sort of like these weird, crazy skills that can fit in a whole lot of different ways, and any cat can have them. So firstly, we've got the Fighter, just pure unapologetic damage. They are just rewarding by killing the enemy quickly, which is something that the game definitely rewards a whole lot. Next up, we've got the Hunter. He's good with like spacing and control. And from what it looks like, he can probably survive in situations where other cats couldn't by having decent damage, a good amount of like variability within a lot of different situations. Then we got the Cleric. He's a healer who doesn't need mana necessarily. Plus, by the divine grace of God, he can do like decent control as well as like buffing other cats. Here we've got the Tank though. This is like definitely your main crowd control person. Cat, this is your main crowd control cat. Really great for just like getting on that front line, pushing other enemies around and giving them a lot to deal with, and could be incredibly useful when paired up with something like the Hunter, who will be... Hunter has a ability to control choke points. However, if you have a tank with the Hunter pushing enemies into those choke points, then this is going to cause for a lot of damage. And then maybe you could throw in the Mage as well, who is our heavily mana-reliant cat. Keeps trying to say hero or friend or whatever. But these guys, the mages, probably going to be doing incredibly large amounts of damage, but you're going to have to build some sort of engine to get your mana back. It's okay, apparently the main quest line has over 200 hours of content, so it should be awesome. But then we have the Thief, high risk, high reward. Seems like they will manipulate the battlefield to contribute with a whole lot of pickups, big bursts, and probably a lot of like maneuverability. Then we've got the Necromancer. So next we've got the Necromancer. They drain life and summon undead units from fallen enemies. They spread status effects all over the battlefield. And it's a slower, more methodical class that turns corpses into resources and chaos into advantage. They've got high constitution and charisma, but low strength. Wonder if you could end up boosting one up to have like a strength Necromancer kind of dude. Be excited to have a play around with it. And last of all, we have the Stray Cat. So it's not really a class, but it can like fit in anywhere. Jack of all trades. Before we move on to look at the Druid in more detail, here's a few other classes that have been semi-confirmed. I would say 100% confirmed what we know about them. They haven't really been revealed as much as the other classes. This is a quick look at the wiki. We got the Butcher, the Psychic, the Monk, the Jester, and also on the secret stream, there was a reference to the Mini-Me, which we don't know if this is a class, we don't know if this is a cat. Feel free to write in the comments what you think this is. It could be a reflection of the player themselves within the game, or I'm not sure. It could be anything. But that is something that we have not heard anything about, but through just like a little hint from Edmund's wife, we do know that there is something called the Mini-Me, which has been in the game for over a year. Alright, finally getting on to look at the Druid here. Here we go. I made this beautiful little gif of the Druid with a little poo on his head. They don't all have poos on their head. This one does, and he looks great. The Druid is a combo class, actually, as I've written in this little note off to the side. So it's essentially what you might think of as a bard as well as a Druid. So we think of Tom Bombadil type, skipping through nature, playing his instruments. And as such, his base attack is just Sing, which does no damage. You'll see here it increases the damage or heals of anyone near them. So this has been explained to be something that we also don't really know much about, but it probably aligns with different type of magic. And this is called musical magic. We go down here, if we go down here, to Maestro, which is one of the passive abilities that he can pick up, we can see that his musical spells cost 50% less damage. So his spell type is actually something called, well, it's a different kind of spell. It's called a musical. So that's something we can all be thinking about. Probably doesn't exactly have typical mana points and is just to do with buffing the opponents or debuffing the opponents and buffing the allies, which segues pretty nicely into the druid's main passive, the buddy system. The druid has a holy shield, which gives him one of these little gems, and when that gem is on him, he won't take damage from his next attack. When he loses that damage, it moves to his buddy, and every druid always has a buddy. Edmund said it was a crow, so I assume they all have crows, but maybe there'll be more variability to that, and we can get different types of buddies. So despite the druid not being able to do damage, his crow will always be able to do damage, and only one of them can take damage at a time. So you'll be sticking those dudes close together and switching them in and out. I'll just zoom in really quickly on the actives, because we'll just be having a look at these next. Just some cute little pictures of the active abilities that he had to use. There we have the Sing, and then we have a Colorless ability, which is the kind of ability that any cat can have, just like basic attacks, knockback, pushes, pulls, all those kinds of things. The druid also had Summon Squirrel, which is cool. Very cool. He had Form of the Raccoon, so the druid here will be shapeshifting. And the raccoon form is the kind of attack which sort of made me think of like a thief a little bit. When they hit an enemy, it causes items to scatter across the battlefield, which you have to then go pick up. You also gain +2 intelligence and -2 strength, and your basic attack becomes Pilfer, which is the ability which scatters things around. Aside from that, her cat was leveling up, and we got to have a look at a few different spells, Maestro and Love Song, which I've already referenced earlier, and then Serial Killer and Metal Detector, which were colorless spells which any cat can get. Anyway, I'm super looking forward to MewGenics coming out soon. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. Like and subscribe.